Hello, welcome to our week three, season four, um, episode of Meditation Magic. And today, once again, we are joined with Anil sir. And so on last week's session, which I unfortunately missed, but I feel like I really needed, so I'm waiting on the recording for. Um, but we basically covered the power of empowering thoughts and what to do when you come across emotions that are counteractive to um, essentially getting what you want. So, like fear, or if like you're feeling insecure, then how to ground yourself in your body, and some techniques we got with that. And so, for today's session, I can't wait to see what we have. So, I'll hand it over to you.
All right. Thank you, Maisha. Appreciate it. Hello, everyone. Let's get started with today's session. Yeah. Before we do, let me invoke, masters here. All right. Uh, I think session one and session two, we kind of touched upon few concepts, not concepts. Those are the truth, not true, truth. Always be true. 1,000 years back, today, 1,000 years into future. We are going to enter into the next aspect of living an awesome life. When I say living an awesome life, I'm not talking about the outside. I'm talking about living an awesome life behind these eyes. Because when this is taken care, outside is just a reflection of the inner world. So we will talk about few foundational absolute truth today. What this means is it has a potential to heal anybody, no matter what happened, but they can able to heal themselves. When I say when I say heal themselves, I'm not talking about the physical healing. There is their consciousness arises, automatically healing happens. I'm talking about that. We will talk about few foundationals. Everybody has to do that. Has to remember that to do. Okay, I will start with some anchoring. I know session number two, we kind of talked about our lives are like a channel where we have a remote. One channel is in the past, other channel is in the future. And right now, whatever we click on, that is a live streaming at this time. We talked about in the past, it gives us some of that shameful, I should have, could have done that. That's how those feelings are. And the future is anxiety, what happens. And these are the two different channels, but we wanted to bring to the right now. That's the live streaming. Once we are there in the live streaming, and how do we anchor day to day in our life? We will talk about that. So, from the highest wisdom standpoint, everybody take the life to experience. And when I say experience, right, I wanted to really understand if anybody actually gone through what the hunger mean, they experience that. They can relate to other people. It's not, it's not fastening. I'm not talking about it. It's a hunger. A person who actually experienced the hunger can able to relate to the people. Person who actually do not get the love, they can able to relate to what the love mean. A person actually healed going through a physical, mental, emotional trauma, they can able to help others. You see the patterns of everything. Sometimes we may not able to do these things physically in the current life. Certain things might likely happen in the past. We may not seen everything, but if somebody is helping someone, that means that person has that experience so that that person can relate with others. It's simply giving an encouragement, or it's simply, pat on the back. All these are the things, empowering acts. So there are few things we are going to talk about when we are in the present current moment. Always ask one question, irrespective of the event, situation. What can I learn from this? What can I learn from this? We will use few examples. You are going into the office, and there is a person in front of you. Open the door for everyone. The moment that person saw you, they just started closing the door and then move on. Okay, is that triggers an emotion? Yes. In that moment, we need to ask one question: what can I learn from it? People are just a speck here through which we get these experiences. It doesn't belong to the people. They are playing a role there. Can we view that? Oh boy, if somebody closes the door on my face, oh, this is how it feels. Okay, I get it. It doesn't belong to that person. That person is actually giving me an experience. And the lesson I have is from now onwards, I make a commitment to myself. I never ever do that. That is the lesson. I'm going to give you why that is important. I want to give you a few more examples. When somebody mistreated us, can we have that courage to absorb that and choose to respond with love? In that moment, the other person transformed. It's not us. When we do that, other person gets transformed, other person gets healed. This is how the world works. Hurt people hurt others, healed people heal others. Hurt people hurt others, period. It comes in the generation line. Healed people heal others. Do we have the courage to see that person is acting on that? Can I use empowerment? Again, go back to that. Can I see what is that happening? Not at the physical layer, but absolute truth. Oh, this person is teaching me something. Okay. Now this person actually, hating me. Then I choose to respond with love. That doesn't mean, my love to that person is not same as my family. But here I choose to respond with love. Can we do that? When we do that, what happens is, right, we don't have to physically go through those situations. All that things evaporate from our ethers. This is the absolute truth I experienced in my life. Always ask the question when the things are happening, what is that this person, thing, or event is teaching me? Simple question, profound transformation. Once we learn it, these people will disappear from our lives. If a troublemaking boss is giving a painful treatment to an employee, but employee learned the lesson by asking, what can I learn from it? The boss got promoted and then he moved on to some other place. All these are at times having a contract. They exactly do the same thing. How many of us has a situation, a family is their spouse and husband, or spouse, but that spouse is very, very generous to everybody in the world. But when it comes to helping in the family member, they won't do that because the contract is such that until this person awaken, this person don't change. But this person does everything to the entire world. He go and then help at 5 a.m. to the other people. He perform the service. But when the wife or husband need it at house, additional work, this person don't offer. All right. If there is one thing, always ask, what can I learn from it? That's the number one. Okay. The number two, again, order doesn't matter here. I'm going with the flow as it's, for some of us, number one could be different because everyone has our own journey. Number two, when we get up in the morning, when we see ourselves, can each one of us love entirety of ourselves? The good part, the bad and ugly. If we don't love ourselves, forget it, forget about it. Transformation, meditation, consciousness, loving others, all that is nonsense. Do we have a courage to really accept who we are? The way we look, the dress, our body, the way our thought comes, our entirety, good and bad. If we don't even acknowledge good and bad within us, we are not even on this journey. So the second point, love, each one of us need to love ourselves to the entirety. That doesn't mean I'm great. I love just the way I am, period. I do have the good parts. I do have the, dark sides or ugly parts as well. Do we have courage to even accept those things and then still love it? For example, can I love myself? Maybe, you know, am I willing to take my cap off and then go to work? These are some of the challenges I put myself in. There is nothing. For majority of the people, Anil, you don't have the hair. Is that a big deal? Maybe not right now. 5 years back, it's a big deal for me. But from the outside world, right? Hey, Anil, what's the difference, right? 30% of the population are, bald. Why? But for me, 5 years back, it's a big deal. But it requires a challenging myself. What the heck? What's the big deal out of it? Go and then do that, right? And then when we are losing the hair, do we love ourselves? Or do we need any additional combination? I need patching. I need, whatnot, all those treatments. I did not went that route, but I started working on myself. It could be the, something, the way how people look, the way their skills are. All those are not real. Can we love ourselves exactly as is? The value of the consciousness, right? It's not related to the physical. Oh, this person has a job, this person drives this car, this person has 10 homes, this person, wear this bag. That is not. All right. The second one, it's a simple self-love. It's a multiple life journeys to master that. All right. I'm moving on to the third one. Third one is a self-esteem. Can each one of us value ourselves without needing an opinion from outside world? For example, you guys did a great, you know, maybe helping in the kitchen. You take a turn, you prepared amazing food today. Do you crave for a compliment? Or if somebody says, oh, food is amazing, you feel like, oh no, I did it. Versus if somebody did not say anything, do you feel anything low? The self-esteem is one of the most important thing. How we value ourselves, not because external world says this or that. Somebody, say thank you or somebody don't say thank you. Still, our value is not changing. That's the self-esteem for me. For example, you work on a project, you did not get a recognition. Nobody says thank you. That's okay. It doesn't hurt me. Yes, you open the door for 10 people, none of them say thank you. You know, that doesn't hurt me because my value of my act is highest. If somebody says thank you, that's okay. I appreciate it. If they don't do, my value doesn't. My act of doing the service for them is doesn't go low or high depending upon other people's opinion. It's such a simple thing, right? How many times as a kid, parents actually say something and then we believe that's accurate. Yeah. So that's their point of view. We just need to see, oh, okay, it's their point of view. I'm not taking in. I listen, but I'm not taking in. Right? That's where the self-esteem come into play. Self-esteem doesn't belong to the gender, doesn't belong to what job we do, doesn't belong to the age, doesn't belong to anything else. Can I value myself entirety, irrespective of what work I do? That's where the self-esteem come into play. That's number three. All right. I wanted to add two more points for today's session. There are two biggest things people go through in life. One, not able to forgive what happened, and unnecessarily judging the things, events, other people. When anybody does that, they are creating a pharmacy within themselves. That pharmacy creates a poison. For lack of better words, I'm using a word poison. If I judge somebody, I'm creating a poison within me. If I'm not able to forgive someone, I'm creating a poison within me. I cannot emphasize more than this. When we don't forgive the people, when we don't forgive ourselves, our past, there is a psychic weight. When I say weight, I'm talking about WEIGHT. The more psychic weight we carry, the more time it takes for us to transform. When we are not able to forgive our past, we are carrying our psychic weight. The more psychic weight, the less speed to the transformation. All right, that's number 5. All right, I'm going to ask one question, one other point. We would open up for questions or maybe whatever the content comes, we will flow through. The last one, when things happen in life, that could be mess. Yeah, mess happens, right? That's where the life is. Life is not fair. Life has certain obstacles. When we encounter an obstacle, do not ask for reason why. Do not ask the God why it happened. When anybody asks a reason, there is no answer for it. No answer will be given. Then people, maybe in other words, when people are asking a reason why, they have their own judgment about themselves. If somebody end up with a situation health related, they have their own judgment that they should not deserve that. Because of that judgment, they struck another 10 years with the same situation. They weren't able to move forward because they have their illusion. The illusion is, as per their judgment, they are good. This situation should not happen. So when anything happen, it could be a good, bad, it doesn't matter. Do not ask the reason. Just, check what can I learn from it. This is the highest wisdom when it comes to healing, from health, wealth, studies, mental well-being, physical well-being, and all. People end up with reasoning why, and they have their own judgment about the situation, and the outcome is not in their favor. Then they got struck. We need to move forward. It could be writing an SAT first time, second time. It could be college admission. It could be anything. These are all the bedrock foundations of any human being to bring these things into life. And then lastly, we need we need to build the muscle, the self-esteem, other things. It doesn't happen just like that. We need to train ourselves. When we get up in the morning, the way we get the things done is right. Like, a bodybuilder, or maybe a Olympic swimmer practices on daily basis. That person gets into limelight once in 4 years. But every day there is a dedication, there is a discipline to practice it. In the same way, in order to build that muscle of self-esteem, self-love, we need to take one thing at a time. A small 10-minute act. Do it consistently. It could be writing a book. Do it 10 minutes for yourself. Maybe I wanted to actually start writing journaling. How are my thoughts? 10 minutes a day. But consistency matter, discipline matter. And when you do it in the morning, you complete a check, somewhere in your diary. That check is actual instant gratification for you. When you do that, a small things you need to do. We don't have to do a bigger things. In order to get a good grades in the college, study, 30 minutes on daily basis. That's it. But over a period of time, that's where the scale, right? We call it, what is that? Snow effect. How do we build the snowball, right? We just started rolling, 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 right? Day one, day two, day three, and then it builds the muscle. That's exactly how we build our muscle. That's specific to either self-love, specific to the self-esteem, even building a skill in the things that we don't have. Yeah. If you are really listening to this, my honest, I can't emphasize it, right? Today, what we discussed, it has a profound transformational if we practice it. If not, it's just another, another sentence, another lesson. I just want to feel, I can't emphasize the same topic again and again. Truth is simple. There are 5 or 10 things we need to follow consistently until it becomes our habit. That's it. Our direction of the life got changed. When we love ourselves, when we have a self-esteem, when we start learning from every situation, do you know what happens? We started building rapport with the divine internally. We don't have to do anything. These are the simple acts, simply loving ourselves, simply valuing ourselves, learning from everything, not judging anyone, clear the past, forgive. What happens? Each one of us, our psychic weight becomes lighter and lighter. When our psychic weight becomes lighter and lighter, our path to multidimensionality becomes clearer. We receive an intuition, and that would be beyond these five senses. We started operating at the different level. I'm not looking the life as 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. But if you practice it right, it's become whatever comes your way. It's a joyful life. And people around you looking at you all, they will scratching their head. How come this person is operating with ease? How come this person operating with ease? Because we are not operating here. When there is a big storm is happening, the crow is actually struggling because the crow lives under the cloud, but the eagle is actually flying above the cloud. That's the consciousness operating at the different level. All right, I know for teens it feels like a concept, but always, I encourage you try it out. When you try, you get to know. I'm not asking you to stop eating that food, stop doing that. I'm not saying any of those things. All I'm saying is love yourself, okay? Value yourself, learn for anything. Again, we go to the college and then we do so much right. Every year we learn so many. Learn from every situation. It's a simple one thing. I'm not asking to study physics or chemistry. What is that universe is trying to teach me? And then clear the plate from the past. Do not judge anybody, no matter what, who the other person is. If we do that, we are transformed, period. I'm going to sign a contract. If you promise me do that every day, I'm going to sign a contract with you. And I can guarantee it's a transformational for anybody who practice this consistently. All right, Master, how are we tracking? Okay, 9:32. Um, I think rather than me talking, I just wanted to open up to see, is there anything that I can do to help to answer a specific question that anybody wanted to um, ask me?
So essentially for like more of like the limiting beliefs essentially or like whatever barriers that made me give like a more negative self-image. I would say like personally, I don't like if something like bad, even if it's really bad happens to me, I always think that like, like this happened for a reason and like there's obviously like this was going to happen anyways or like I needed this lesson. Like this was very important like in my life. That's how I take it, but I mean, I feel like subconsciously like the impact that it has or like the repeated things they kind of like stick and so I kind of internalize them and I like it's really hard to like shift out of that and it really like brings down my self-esteem on like a regular basis. So do you have any advice for me?
Yeah, I think, I would say this first, then I would ask a follow-up question for the
Okay.
more specific one.
Mhm.
Can I see myself no matter what, whatever the situation outside world? Two things are non-negotiable: loving myself, my self-esteem, my value. It's a non-negotiable. It doesn't depend on If somebody comes, and then obviously, when I say self-esteem, it has the integrity part of it. If somebody comes, Anil, you're giving a counseling. If you tell what the other person's situation, I'm going to give you 1 million. Then for me, it's non-negotiable, right? What I say, I'm not for sale. I am not for sale. In the same way, when any of the thought, if anybody is actually any situation causing me to lose my self-esteem, one simple word, I'm not for sale, no matter what. I'm not going to, value myself less than anyone else. The same is true. I'm not valuing above than anyone else. I'm just perfect in my own way.
Mm.
Can I repeat that multiple times in the day over a period of 3 months, 6 months, 100 times a day? What would be the state look like? I'm not doing anything. I strongly believe, I want to use this word just for context. I strongly believe people who are actually put into a jail is much lesser punishment than people who has a thought form and put themselves into the cage. That is an invisible cage. It takes 10 years to break that, because that is how much powerful thought form is. And behind that there are so many beliefs, and then we accept everything what the people say. It's the time to actually start cleaning that. And the first way to clean that, right, starting with I love myself, and I value myself. Doesn't matter for me, or if I were you, I use this multiple times until
Mm.
it goes into subconsciously.
Okay.
That would be the game changer. And again, right, I'm not repeating it, but I really feel it.
Mm.
I'm not
Okay.
any special than anybody. I'm just myself. There is no other Anil exists. Exactly the way, I look. That is my specialty. But can I see that? Can I see that? And then can I really uh, feel it and then say it multiple times? That way it enters into the subconsciousness.
Okay. I get it. So like really reframing it once and then like saying it over and over again just to like affirm it till it changes your entire belief about yourself.
Correct.
Okay.
If I can provide you a suggestion, you can record for 10 minutes what you want, and then keep it loop, run it entire night while you are sleeping. It's your own voice emphasizing it. All we need is the reinforcement of the same thing. The world we are living, we have so many graceful things in our life. We don't spend time there.
Yeah.
The everyday went right, 99% absolutely flawless. Nobody has time to even acknowledge that, but we only focus on that 1%. The person in front of me did not smile.
Yeah.
Gone. So all we see is, right, life is all about balancing. Always see the grace or positive side of it. We wanted to be grateful and then learn from these things. What is that universe trying to teach me?
Okay. That was my question. Does anybody else have anything they want to ask maybe? Maybe like more in regards to like I think recently Anil sir just mentioned like repeating until things get into your subconsciousness. If anyone has any questions in regards to that, and you can private chat me or him or Satya, ma'am, and we can ask for you anonymously if anyone has any.
Hello. Not asking, just what you have said. Uh, somebody closes door on your face. What we learn, I don't know. Uh, Next time we take care of ourselves so that we did not get hurt mentally. Like then try to avoid and go to other path. Is it okay? Because I don't want to get myself hurt. Because I love myself, and somebody insulting. If you go there, somebody no closing the door on face. They don't want to interact with me, and then um, whatever the reason, from their side they may be right. From my side, I cannot take it. So next time I'll take care that person is not responding for me, so better to avoid. It's not necessary to go and say hi, like if they are not. What do you say for that?
Yeah, always see that, right? If somebody is shutting it over, I strongly believe everything is happening for a reason. The me joining this session, spending time with you is actually a divine incident. It is not just happening. That is how my foundational core is. So, because my experiences proved me, Anil, every person that you talk, everyone that that helped you is actually a divine intervention. For example, I wanted to use analogy, then we'll switch back to the question, right? A person, a absolute devotee, is actually praying for the God because there is so much rain happened and flooding. This person sitting on top of the house and then praying for God.
That I know the story. Yeah.
Okay. So the point is, right? The point is every person that comes our way is actually a piece of divinity with them trying to teach us a lesson. Can we see that? We have an option to see at the physical level. Oh no, yeah, this boy or this girl is giving me a trouble. Absolutely. That's the physical. Can we go at the subconscious level? Okay, uh, because it belongs to his karma, let it be. I'm talking about even one level up. Okay, if this is happening to me, then what is that I need to? So to your specific question, if somebody, shut the door on the face, haha, shutting the door on the face gives me this kind of the feel
Yeah.
within me because I I gone through that at this time because somebody, you know, um, yeah, somebody closed the door on me, right? Then what is that lesson? From rest of my life, I'm not going to do it, no matter what. Even somebody gives me, $1,000 to shut a door on someone, I won't do that. I'm not for sale. This is my experience. It
Yeah,
happened to
that
me.
we don't do that. We don't do the such things. But next time, what we learn is one thing we will not do, and second thing, we are not going on in the same path. Like mentally, we are not on the same boat or something. Some people they don't go together. Like the waves doesn't match. Then I think if somebody is not that, okay, try to avoid and be safe in our own way. Why should I don't want to take something like, oh, gone pinching, like we will not do repeat to somebody the same thing that we know. But at the same time, the second one, uh, you said that officer is giving trouble. Then what we learn, that person may get transferred or got promoted. Something is, if still that person is there and every day troubling, we try to avoid. That's my. It is not easy to say physically, mental level. Uh, that is not easy to tackle that situations, day to day things and all. Mm, I I'm actually I did not get proper correct answer for that.
Because, can I say honestly?
Yeah.
Because you have a preconceived answer,
Mm.
which is not what I'm saying. And again, I want to repeat the answer. I get it. I heard you mention if somebody shut the door on the face, we won't do that. Perfect. But I
Yeah.
would ask that question: is that 100% true? No, I'm not
Yeah,
asking your
definitely.
question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the example of this, shutting the door, maybe we may not do that. But if something else comes, we would immediately remember that person. And then we started, planning in our mind. Next time when that person comes, I will show what I can.
No, we
You,
we will try to avoid that person. I don't want to get get into the same thing in situations. Why should I?
okay.
Let me be see
Can
in
I,
peace.
yeah, again, I heard you mentioning we want to avoid the situation.
Yeah.
Avoidance means
Mm.
if there is a unfinished energy, unfinished job, even if we avoid in the current life, then that unfinished energy brings back in the next life as well. So we need to close that thing. What that close that thing mean? Not hating the other person, not avoiding it. If that person happens to be there, we just say hello, not invoking any emotions. I can use a reference there for this. If anybody reads Sai Baba book, Shirdi Sai Baba book, he mentions two farmers who are fighting each other at one life. In the next life, they become like a snake and
Frog.
yeah, frog, and then they try to do the things. And Baba mentions, this is the unfinished work. Again, not exactly the same words. That's the unfinished work of quarreling, not able to forgive each other. That's continuing in the next life. Even their forms got changed, but not their energy. Because of the energy, they have to exchange that. So all that I say is right. Avoiding is a tactical that works, but
Mm.
behind that, are there energetically any unfinished work is there? If we need to forgive them, forgive them. Once we forgive them, right, then even that person comes, it doesn't hurt. Actually, there is a portion of the healing. I wanted to use the references. People who hate, other people, whatever the reason, they actually go to that person and then start asking the questions, hey, you know what? I'm here to heal myself. I need your help. You remember 3 years back in that function, I said something and then you said something to me back. Can you tell me what is your viewpoint there? And spending the time, and actually, after 2 hours, they both healed and then come back. That is the highest level of healing people does, which I know in the current life. So all I say is right, avoiding is good, but if the unfinished job is there, we need to close that. We need to finish it. Yes, master.
So again, in reference to the same question, right? Same situation, like where she mentioned avoiding the situation, right? Instead, I mean, in the beginning, you mentioned when you encounter something like that, and when you release a empowering thought in that case, I remember you mentioned like it can instantaneously heal the situation. Is that correct?
Correct. But it's a practice. I think the way the healing works, right? Many times when we are going through a tough situation, we ask for grace to show up. And I strongly believe our dark sides of all, for example, jealousy and divine side or gray side of jealousy, they both are in continuous fight, not fight, continuously to see which one wins. When the grace is more, then we make empowering decision. When the grace is low, then, this takes that. All we need to do is right. Maybe, I do prayer, I connect to universe and all right. Universe, give me the grace to overcome this because I cannot love this entire world by myself. If somebody give me a pain, how can I respond with love? That's where I need that grace energy to start flowing through me. With that empowerment, I start acting at very high conscious activity. That is, I respond with love. You see where I'm connecting it, right? It's not, though I'm doing it, but one level I'm connecting to the source, use that energy to act in the higher realm manner.
So at that point, your empowering thought could be your empowering action or a ask to the universe to grace us with some uh,
Correct.
divine
That yeah, that's correct, master. Empowering thought happens here, right? But the thought needs to come into an action. Sometimes empowering thought is, I wanted to get up in the morning, do this work, right? That's empowering thought. But the action is, I need to get up and then actually do that. But when it comes to doing it, two sides of the game starts, right? Maybe my heart or higher self says, hey, Anil, go for it. It's okay. You don't have a sleep. Still, you go and then do that. But my other side, Anil, you don't have a sleep. Are you mad? You can push it to tomorrow. What's the big deal? And it happens such a subconscious level in a microsecond. One wins, one drops. We need to be very, very careful. Which one is winning continuously? That means we need little more grace. We need to ask for help and then start connecting it and all. Again, we all go through this, but what I talked about is very interior realm of the self. The dark side is, trying to compete with the other side, and then one has to win. All I say is, right, the more we bring to the awareness, I'm postponing the things, okay? I happen to be at the friend's house on the occasion, right? There is a slight thought, can I postpone the class? These are genuine because, you know, I'm sure it's the same thing. You have the different, different options, but there is something, no, it's my commitment, right? I want to do that. You see how this happens, but when it comes to workout, it did not happen to me. I did not go for a walk today. So there I lost, but this is non-negotiable for me. That is okay.
Sir, I know like many takeaways from the session, but could you just suggest us some practices that can be followed as you mentioned, self-esteem practices in the morning, or I know journaling was one of the things, and could you suggest some practices?
Yeah, sure, master. Yeah, self-love. You always ask, am I loving myself? I'm sure few things come into play. Maybe at that time you did not do that or something. That is where your golden nugget is. So that means, am I loving myself, right? Somewhere inside you feel, I love myself, but this piece, right? This piece I don't like about myself. It doesn't matter what about that piece, right? That is the golden nugget. We need to start working on that. Okay, when it comes to self-esteem, you go and then you go to the party, you're talking to the people, and all of a sudden you have a feeling, oh boy, I can't stand these people, these guys, right? Maybe they have the higher power, they have the lower power. Somewhere in our subconscious, we value them more or we value them less. Or because we value them more, what does that mean? We value them more, that means we are less. Right? That's the piece. Why is that making me like that? What is going on with me? Then that's the piece we need to work through. Maybe we are headed to a party or maybe something, and then some negative thought come into the mind. And where is it coming from? That's the nugget again. Again, I'm not giving anything because each one are in the different transition phase. And we know that the moment we understand these patterns, those are the ones we need to work through. That could be a next 1 month. And that's how it goes. And then the best way to get visibility to all these, started writing it on a paper. End of the day. How did my day go? Oh, I got up in the morning. Oh, okay. Oh, I felt I don't have time to eat breakfast. Okay. Yeah, during the lunch, somebody is actually irritated me, asking so many questions. Okay. Oh, the other person did not include me in the email. I supposed to be, huh, I got upset for that. Oh, and the coming back from office, right? There is somebody is looking for a a spot to enter and merge into the traffic. I saw 10 cars behind me, did not give, but I did stop for them. Oh, thank Anil, you did a good job. You see the small things. I'm not changing the world any big manner, but a small thing. I'm making little better for others. And then end of the day, did I do anything beyond myself today? Maybe did I compliment anybody? Hey, your dress is good. How are you doing? These small things, empowering things. Even somebody did not a great job, but still we able to find some empowering words for them. That way their day is a little better. When we write that, oh, did I spend time with my family? When they tell when they're talking to me, did I give my full attention to them? These are such a small things. Nobody knows other than each one of us. Even if we work on one thing in 1 week, right? We course corrected 52 in a year, which is a big deal. So all I say is, right, identify what those are, start working one at a time. When I say working, again, we don't have to do anything. Acknowledge it when that happened, start, reframing it. That's it. Maybe even if you're asking, you create a song for yourself. I love myself the way I am. You start singing as if when we go to, shower, right? What do? We think, oh no, that match, maybe that stock market, maybe that party, whatnot. Can we sing loving ourselves? And then you create your own song, right? I love myself the way it is. It doesn't matter. When we do 20 days, right? Even you are not saying it internally, that chanting goes, right? Did you ever remember when we say, whatever the chanting, after some time, what happens? It's reverberating inside, right? That's exactly. Can we create that reverberation, loving myself and having a self-esteem? I learn from every situation. I learn from every situation. Whatever those empowering things, that way after 30 days, we habituated to those things. All right. I think you got the crux of the message, Master.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right.
Yeah, so does anybody else have any questions? We have like 2 more minutes. Any few more pieces of advice you'd like to add and maybe leave us on a good note with?
All right. So maybe 2 more nuggets for today. Based on my experience, every prayer is answered. When you send a blessing to anybody, it's answered, period. This is not something we can prove. But if you send a blessing to one person, to the universe, it's answered. Always remember that. It doesn't matter. Somebody is walking on the parking, maybe, in the park. You just compliment it. They're just needing it that day. That transforms them. All right, that's number one. Number two, when you get up in the morning, just connect to your masters, maybe your guide, maybe the deity the source that you connected to. It doesn't matter what, you know, connect to that. And then simply say, I use mine, right? Yeah, Hanuma, please connect with me, be with me, and guide me, period. It takes 2 seconds. That's how we start protecting ourselves. We start establishing a pathways to the divinity. Yeah, give it a try. It would be interesting when you experiment it. You don't have to believe it, but yeah, there is nothing wrong, right? You're asking your higher self to connect with you, or maybe the source. That's
Mm.
it. And then experience it. And then always ask during the connection, right? When when I am operating at the lower frequency, please give me an indication.
Mm.
You see how we are using it? Rather than trusting us, we are just asking. Asking is what is needed. That's it. And then you will be guided.
So then about like so if you ask once, then like also like the intention like that you ask with, or because you said like whatever you have like that's already like you already receive it, but so then like whatever interferes, like is that maybe like if you hold on to it too tight, or like your intentions for it are not right, or like you're operating from a lower frequency, or maybe like like you're asking from a desperate place as opposed to like a more secure place, and then connecting back to the whole like self-esteem aspect.
Yeah, you touched on few aspects of fast forward the manifestation and all. But generally, right, when we do any of these things, we bring ourselves into a state where we are beyond the mental model of the mind.
Mm.
And then generally when we reach that state, it's more of not about me, but it's more of everyone.
Mm.
That's the natural state it goes into. And then when we are asking also, right, what is the state, through which we are asking? That's one thing. And then the intention of it. Since you brought the intention, I just wanted to, I believe that God universe doesn't really look for what this guy or girl is actually doing.
Mm.
Instead, they actually check what is the intention behind it, which is driving that action. That's the reason many people become reaching the same destination, not with single path. There are X number of paths, but the intention is the same. So I believe it's not actually the act to get there, but the intention behind the act. The act could be act 1 to act 100. It get the same results because the intention behind is actually powering it. So
That's
if the,
interesting.
go ahead.
So like for the intention, like I feel like it's so almost like contradictory, because it's like like you should be satisfied with yourself, and it's like what you are, like your routine, like use it to ground yourself, this that. But then it's like if you want something like outside of that, you want to achieve something, maybe you want like more friends, or like anything of that such. So it's, or like you have a life for yourself envisioned for like the future. I mean, I'm speaking personally because I'm still in school, so that's like something I'm trying to work on. But it's like in that case, like how do you like like know whether it's coming from like a place of like insecurity, and like, oh, like I'm gonna fall behind, or like like or like if I don't get this, like subconsciously I feel like it's like then I just like like it's more about my ego, like if I don't get this, then it's like I feel like a bad, like I failed myself, in comparison to like, okay, like I can still want but I'm satisfied. Like that's what I don't understand.
So I think a couple of things caught my attention. Let me start
Mhm.
with that, right?
Okay.
I want more friends. If I take one sentence out of that, I want to really delve into why.
Okay.
First, why you have an answer. The second, why you have an answer. Third, why. But even ask the fifth time, why? Do Again, I don't know the answer,
Mm,
for that. But at one place, somewhere it boils to me, I'm not enough somewhere.
mm,
But I think we need to start the work there. I don't know if that is true, but it feels to me that's the point I feel like we need to discuss, right? Do we have that kind of I'm not enough that is
right.
actually driving it? Or maybe my ego actually, I wanted to spend the time because someone else did it. I'm trying to mimicking. It doesn't matter what, but we need to go back to the crux of that. Okay, it all boils down to somewhere something within us actually desiring that.
Mm,
And then desiring for something is okay, but making an obligation for that to happen is actually causes the suffering. Okay, that's the number one. Number two, we always want, the things for us, right? Yeah, I
right.
want this, I want that. But I think at what state do we go for it, right? We start, okay, God or universe, you've given me all these things because I'm not great for anything. It's just offered to me. Okay. In that state, we need to ask for more. All right.
Oh, okay. So like a place of like gratitude, like already assessing like I have all of these things, but like I see myself more aligned with this
Correct.
particular life more. Okay.
And then make it anything bigger than yourself.
Okay.
And then, what if this, given to you, right? And then how does that, beneficial for you or for world? If my goal is right, people ask God, give me the better job.
Right.
But is that the right thing to ask? If the job is mainly for the money, maybe it's better to ask, all this abundance. That way I will stop going to work. Instead, I can stop focusing on some service, whatever that makes me bigger than myself. Even
Mhm.
asking the God, right, having a solid job is one thing, but
Mm.
the reason for the job is actually the money to pay the bills. Then why to ask that? Can we
Right.
ask, the bigger than that?
So essentially just the root cause, like the very like continuing to go deep, deep, deep into the root cause. And wherever there's like any place where there's like insecurity within or like it's coming from a place of lack, you need to work on grounding that and like healing it.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's the deep inner work I wanted to let you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Yes.
Even if I flip one, 10x growth happens.
Mm.
That is that transformational. Even acknowledging it, oh boy, there is somewhere I have that feeling, then started working on it. That is much faster journey compared to anything else. All right.
Okay. Well, we kind of went over, but that was very interesting. Thank you so much.
Oh,
And I'll be here next Tuesday too. So, and with that, thank you for attending, everyone. We look forward to seeing you next week, uh, sir. And we always enjoy having all of our masters tune in, and hopefully, if you're watching the recording, then you can maybe visit one of the sessions and ask your own questions as well. Thank you so much.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.